and then you swing your head in. Of course, most of us could lay on the ground at that time and do a kip, stand up from a flat position to your feet. I can't do that anymore either.
I could never do it.
My name is Steve Voigt. I was a tech sergeant. I was the engineer on the B-17, used the upper turret. My position was standing behind the pilot. I was with the 457th Bomb Group. Now that B-17 has a triangle U in the back, which is the same recognition point that we used in our plane. So just a happy coincidence.
Really? How does it feel to be around Sentimental Journey?
Fantastic. It brings back memories I thought I would never have. It's such a beautiful plane. It makes me nostalgic.
Now, top turret flight engineer.
Yes.
During the mission, you not only were firing the upper gun, but you had the responsibility of sort of keeping the plane going. If there were any mechanical problems, such as transferring fuel, anything like that, that was your job, right?
That's right. They were not serious things, but they had to be done, and I did them. And I liked it.
Was the top turret flight engineer, was he the senior NCO? Was that
Yes.
generally the way it was done?
Yes.
Okay. And you were all sergeants?
Everybody was, well, wait a minute. I was a tech sergeant, and they were staff sergeants, I think. There was a little difference in rank, one rank.
Yeah. Okay. How many missions did you fly?
20, successfully 22, and on a 23rd mission we were shot down.
What was the target?
Dessau in Germany.
Okay. And what brought you down? Was it flak or fighters?
Fighter planes. We were on fire.
Okay. And how many of your fellows made it? How many bailed out?
I flew that day with a crew of 9 instead of 10, and we all made it. And the officers went to Stalag Luft 1, and the rest of us went to Stalag Luft 4. And we were prisoners about a year.
Stalag Luft 1 was in Barth, Germany?
You know, I really don't know, since I wasn't an officer. I never had occasion to go.
Just curious. And how long were you in? What was the date of your last mission?
May 28th, 1944.
Okay, so you were in there a little less than a year.
2 weeks less than a year.
Yeah. Okay.
Those dates I can remember. I remember very little, but those dates I can remember.
Well, that's more than most husbands remember, believe me.
So I'm told, yeah.
Is there anything about your time in the skies over Europe that really stand out that you want to make sure that people know about?
No, really. In those days we were all young, and whatever happened, we expected to have happen. And I don't think anything, except the last day we flew. Other than that, most of the trips were pretty routine. I mean, our first mission was a bad mission for us, and that we were shot up pretty bad, but and one man was hurt. But the rest of the missions we came through very well, I thought.
Does your group hold any particular distinctions for
None that I know of.
particular raids?
No, I don't know of any. When we arrived in England, we got a field that had not yet been opened. And we were there about a month before anybody could fly a mission. And we were shot down probably a month or two after the field became operational. So that I'm not really aware of anything that particular bomb group won.
My name is Delton, D-E-L-T-O-N, C. Reoppelle, R-E-O-P-E-L-L-E, And with a name like that, they call me Rip. I was in the 379th Bomb Group. I was a co-pilot, and I had a rank of flight officer. I stayed in the Air Force and retired with a rank of major.
How many missions did you fly?
I flew 13 missions.
And the date and target of your last mission?
The last mission was to Dresden, Germany. And it's on the east side of Germany, on the river, beautiful city. And on the way
what brought
home,
you down? Was it flak or fighters?
flak. And
Okay,
on
that
the,
seems to be the common thread.
well, I was there.
Give them the date.
Oh, the date, I'm kind of a romantic guy anyway. It was February 14th, 45. We're a little lower than we were supposed to be, and they were very effective with the flak.
Oh no, we don't know where they went.
And which POW camp did you end up in?
In 7A, and we walked from middle of Germany to 7A, and that seemed to be a concentration for a lot of POWs.
What was your time in camp like? Was it, I mean, it obviously wasn't a barrel of laughs, but did they treat you fairly well?
Well, we had limited food, and we were told that even the Germans had limited food. But I want to tell you one thing about camp. The American POW never lost his sense of humor, in my opinion. Now, there were rough days. There were days you want to forget, but it seemed like someone had something to say that was humorous. They kind of lifted the group. And
How old were you at the time
I was 19.
when you were shot down?
19.
Wow. It's unbelievable to me how young you guys were. I mean, you were just kids.
I went down to join, and I wasn't 18 yet. And I was told, come back after you're 18, take the test, and if you pass, you'll be in the Air Force in the pilot training program. So that's what I did, and so I went in at 18.
Do you feel good being around a restored B-17 like this?
Yeah, I feel good about my military experience, and I feel good about coming to these things, talking and sharing, and brings back a lot of fond memories. It brings back a lot of things that I'd rather not think about, but that's the name of the game. And,
Well,
I felt very good when I was in combat about being trained to do what I was supposed to do. I'm not saying I was good at it, but I felt trained, and I think that was true of the group I was in.
is there anything you'd like to make sure that people remember all these more than 60 years later about the job you guys did in the Second World War? Is there anything that you want to make sure people know and have to remember?
I think they were represented by a superior group of military people, well trained, and more than willing to make some risks so that we have the world today.
You're doing your all for FDR and Betty Grable, right?
Right, mostly Betty Grable.
Yes, my name is Fred Kenny. I was a co-pilot on B-17, and my rank at that time was a second lieutenant.
Which bomb group?
95th Bomb Group.
It's Netherton Heath, right?
No, that's Horham in England, in Suffolk County.
Okay,
South
my
of-
mistake.
south of that.
I get them mixed up.
Ed had the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many missions did you fly?
I was on my 7th mission when we were shot down.
7?
Yes. It was about 6.5, but that was 7.
Okay. And as I was talking to Ed earlier, you mentioned that you two were both cadets
Yes,
at the same time, and
Yes.
you basically ended up in the same place
that's correct.
at the end.
Yes. He was a pilot. I was a co-pilot, so I didn't go through all the training he did. But so I ended up getting into combat a couple months before he did, and therefore had the opportunity of getting shot down sooner. But then we met again in prison camp, and have been with one another in one phase or another ever since.
What was your first words when you saw each other? We have to stop meeting like this? People are starting to talk.
Something like that. I don't remember the exact words, but something like, "I've been looking for you. I expected you here sooner." But
What was the target on your last mission?
target was the city of Munster in northwest Germany, a rail center, and
And was it flak or fighters?
it was both. Fighters hit us first. We didn't have escort service. The P-47s the short range, they had to go back to England. So we were there by ourselves, the B-17s. And they worked us over pretty good. We had some fire on the airplane as a result of their activity. And in just about the time after we dropped our bombs but left that area, we were hit in the tail section of the airplane by a very strong flak explosion. And that we lost all control at that time and all communication. So the airplane was on fire, and the guys at the tail end of the airplane, they attempted to bail out, but not all of them could. And the airplane went into a spin, and we in the front of the airplane could not communicate with the chaps in the back, and so it was almost everybody going out on their own. We lost 5 of the crew members, and this was in October '43.
You were brought down 3 months before Ed was shot.
Yes, yeah.
How do you feel being around Sentimental Journey today?
Oh, super. That was always an excellent airplane, and I had a good friend from prison camp who worked on that airplane after the war, that specific airplane, and that spar effort that they had to do, and so he worked on that one, and so I've known about that airplane for a long time, as well as seen it several times. Great airplane.
In that time you spent in the air over Europe with hostile fighters and unfriendly flak, is there anything that really stands out that you want to make sure gets remembered by people? If there's one thing you wanted to say about that time, you want to make sure it gets told?
Well, there's so many things out now that are available through the bookstores and through internets and all that sort of thing, to tell a tremendous story of those days and those months and what was accomplished and why. So I would suggest that people who have an interest dig in. The data of all types is available, and very good data. But if anything, one thing that we can all remember is freedom is not free, and you have to work for it. And so I didn't anticipate this moment today, but that's the way I feel about it.
If you don't hear me,
I have all that on a piece of paper if you need it also.
No, we're going to film you
okay.
doing this.
Okay, good.
Okay,
good.
so let's start out with, give me your name, your rank, your crew position, and your bomb group.
Okay, my name is Stephen J. King. I was a lieutenant during the war. I'm a retired Air Force colonel now. And the bomb group was the 379th Bomb Group at Kimbolton, England, which is right near historic Kimbolton Castle, where we were told that the royalty in the past used to keep their mistresses. So it was still a working castle, and they converted some of the fields around it to an airstrip, and we had a bomber group there. It was called that whole part of England. There were all sorts of American military groups flying out of there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were one of those overpaid, overfed, oversexed, and overhere types, right?
Over there. That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
How many missions did you fly, Steve?
I flew 25 missions. Actually, I flew 24, but I had flown 3 times 2 missions in one day, and they only counted it one at a time. But actually, I had 27 mission flights, but I was credited with 25. 25 missions, and after this particular mission, I was going to finish my tour and go home. And I got enamored by the whole operation and signed up for a second tour with the same outfit. My wing commander said, if you come back, if you sign up for a second tour, the benefits are, number one, we'll send you home for 30 days leave, then you come back to the same outfit, you'll be in the same squadron, and you will probably end up a major if you survive it. So I signed up for a second mission, and a couple of my crew members said, we think you've lost your mind. But as it was, that was my last final mission of my tour, and final mission flying, because then I was shot down. Yeah.
What was the target on your last mission?
The target were oil refineries at Hamburg, Germany.
Okay.
And it was a 900 plane American raid there. And we due over the target about noon, and that was the target. We had a full 8th Air Force 900 plane raid on the target. And I was flying as a deputy group commander for my group of 36 airplanes, which are part of the whole thing, yeah.
And what brought you down? Was it flak or fighters?
It was flak. We had, just dropped our bombs, and we had 2 hits of the airplane, and the one hit the nose compartment and wounded the bombardier, and the navigator was okay. And when that happened, the co-pilot, without any instructions at all, evacuated his seat and bailed out. He bailed out, just went. So I was left with the pilot, navigator, and the bombardier, and my top turret gunner in the airplane. We're still flying. And then we got a 3rd hit, and the 3rd hit, my top turret gunner poked me and said, "Look out on the right."